All right, here we go, ready for our senior racing. Lights are out, and a great start from Steve Bridge, and in the middle of the front row, Nick Burke also got away well. Matt Drayson, our pole sitter and race 2 winner up the inside of turn 1. We see them come out of turn 1. They all get away nice and cleanly, heading in towards the pedestrian overbridge. And Nick Burke looks like he's got a great start. We can see Steve Bridge there in second place, Matt Drayson there back in third, so a drying track and some great racing in store here. Zurn he got away well, he's in fourth place. And then great little battle from Robbie Oxenham and Miles McDonald last time around, with Daniel Hendy in there as well. So this is going to be a great little senior 8-lap race. But it looks to be Nick Burke outdoing it at the moment. So he's on the smaller Bayride Yamaha 6 at the moment. Then you go back to Steve Bridge and Matt Drayson on the bigger bikes in there. Second and third place was Zurn. He's on a 600 F2 machine as well. So that's fourth place, the man from Morrinsville. And then we go back to Robbie, Miles and Daniel, the 5th, 6th and 7th battle, as well as we head up the front straight. And this is where the bigger bike of Steve Bridge pulls up alongside him. But if he's going to be quite close enough into turn 1, they brake hard. But it's Nick Burke just narrowly ahead of Steve Bridge and Matt Drayson. So less than a second separating the top 3 at the moment as they head out of turn 1 and fly under the bridge. It is still Nick Burke ahead of Steve Bridge and then Matt Drayson. So a 3-way fight for the lead. They go through turn 2 and over the up and over around turn 3. Zurn and a lonely old ride in fourth place with Robbie Oxenham there in 5th. So Robbie will be lap time hunting this time around. He's in the 118s on his first lap round. He'll be looking to take a little personal goal away from today, I would say. Great to see Robbie Oxenham back at the racetrack, and Miles McDonald and Daniel Hendy 6th and 7th place. But this battle for the lead really heading up. Nick Burke under a lot of pressure now from Steve Bridge out of turn 9. Steve Bridge gets a great drive out of there and pulls up alongside it. I think Steve Bridge has done enough. Under brakes for turn 10, the sweeper, and it is going to be the F1 engineering man, Steve Bridge, who's going to lead them out of turn 10. And now Nick Burke's under pressure from the 57 of Matt Drayson as well. So here we go. We've got a new race leader heading up the front straight, and it is the 294, the F1 engineering man, Steve Bridge. 1:10.878. So definitely still looking for a nice place out there at the moment. The track temperature is still hovering around that 10-degree margin. So still only about a second separating our top 3 guys as we see them. Turn 2 and 3, the up and over bit, awesome little part of the circuit as we watch them through there. Nothing changes through there, out of there. Steve Bridge stretching out that advantage. He's got about 10 bike lengths as they climb out of turn 3 on the run into Highpool. Steve Bridge, the man from Narrawahi, the F1 engineering, BSF racing man with Pirelli and SBS brakes on board, RST leathers and Pulini lubricants. Great long time New Zealand Superbike racing legend Steve Bridge on the awesome sounding Ducati Panigale. He flies out of turn 9. Nick Burke still there in second place with Matt Drayson in third. So still only that 1 second gap between those 3. Zurn there in fourth place, doing a good job. The man from Envy Motorcycles in Morrinsville on the Triumph Daytona. Then we go Robbie Oxenham, a better ride from Robbie this time round. He's well clear of Miles and Daniel in 6th and 7th, so good riding there from the Ox. He's in 5th place. Big at start finish line. 1:10.02s, but Matt Drayson now up into 2nd place ahead of Nick Burke. We'll see if Nick's got anything for him into turn 1 under brakes. Doesn't look like he has. So I think we've got a confirmed now change. 2nd place with Matt Drayson heading up into 2nd. Nick Burke all over the back of him into turn 2, but not quite close enough to argue the issue. So it is going to be Matt Drayson who inherits 2nd place from Nick Burke there. So great riding from those 2, nice and clean, plenty of room given. But meanwhile, while these 2 scrapping it out, Steve Bridge is just absolutely clearing out in the distance. He's got a good 20 bike length advantage as he heads down and starts braking into turn 9, the Porsche dipper. And there we go, Matt Drayson. We've got a little bit of pressure here from Nick, who's going to cut the tighter line up the inside, but not quite going to be there to make the moves of Matt Drayson. Nick Burke having a great little scrap for 2nd place as we watch Zurn. He comes into turn 9 as well. He takes a nice little tight narrow line on that smaller 675 3-cylinder machine. And then Robbie Oxenham, he's also on a 600 as well. He's in 5th place. But here we go with the legendary Steve Bridge. He takes the with a 1:10.149, so still the fastest man on track. And then Matt just comes through with a 109.7, so we've got a new fastest lap of the race with Matt at a 109.783, and that was with a bit of dicing as well, so look out for Matt Drayson. Definitely a man on the move, only 1.5 seconds back from Steve Bridge, so the battle for the lead is not really done and dusted yet. There's still 4 laps to go. We're only at half race distance. And it'll be interesting to see what happens to this gap. It is still the 294 machine, Steve Bridge out in front with Matt Drayson in second. Then go back to Nick Burke, who's just drifted off the pace a little bit, but still lapping in the 111, so not too bad there from Nick, the man from Bay Ride and the Bay of Plenty. And Carl Cox Motorsports on board. Nick, great to see him to all 3 race wins at round 1 and now in top 3 again. So some more good championship points here in this Kawasaki Road Race Series. But we see Steve Bridge heading around the sweeper. Matt Drayson tucking in right in behind the slipstream there. So this battle here, this is going to be awesome to watch. Steve Bridge heads up the hill. Matt Drayson in second place. We'll have a look at some lap time. So Steve Bridge goes through with a 109.083, and Matt comes through and takes 0.3 of a second out of a 108.7. So new fastest lap of the race, a 108.727. Matt Drayson, and brings that gap down to 1.2 seconds with 3 laps to go. It's all on here. The Kawasaki New Zealand supported senior racing. This is the 3rd and final race these guys get for the day. So all on for you. Still 3 laps to go, and nothing in it as they head out of the up and over on the way down turn 8. This awesome right-hand high pull sweeper. He's definitely reeling him in a little bit here. Turn 9, the Porsche dipper, great little left-hander. Doesn't look like he's making too much of a headroad, so they're going to come out at turn 9. And Steve Bridge, all his awesome experience in racing in New Zealand, has got out of there and got the power down. And that brilliant sounding F1 Engineering twin-cylinder machine as they go round the turn 10 sweeper. Steve Bridge definitely responding here. The gap doesn't look like it's come down a considerable amount, so here we go. Just a little bit of a buck out of the turn 10 sweeper, but on the gas it is Steve Bridge. And 2 laps to go with a 109.4, and then we go to a 109.4, so Matt Drayson can't match the pace of Steve Bridge. The gap still at 1.2 seconds, so Steve Bridge does enough there to answer the call. 2 laps to go, but any little mistake from Steve and it'll be definitely advantage Matt, so we watch them through the up and over. It's awesome to watch Steve Bridge, Matt Drayson. Senior racing this close is absolutely brilliant to watch. Nick Burke, he sort of just drifted back a little bit, but still looking in the 112s and high 111s. So he's 7.8 seconds off the pace, but a great showing here from Nick on the Carl Cox Motorsport Bay Ride R6 into turn 9, and maybe a little bit closer, but not a hell of a lot. So Steve Bridge with the white flag ready and waiting for him is definitely got the advantage at the moment. Around turn 10 they go. Then we got Nick, he's coming out of turn 9 at the moment, and then we go back to SnrR3, who's having a little battle now with Robbie Oxenham, so that's a good little battle. They're in high pull at the moment, and SnrR just about 25 Oxenham, so Martin and Daniel Hendy, they're into it as well. So some couple of little battles going on all over the track as we see a 109.3 from Steve and a 109.4 from Matt, so advantage out by 0.1 of a second to 1.38. So Steve Bridge in control of this one with 1 lap to go. The white flag is out. Matt Drayson there in second place, and then we go back to Nick Burke in third place. He's lapping in the low 111s now, so he's got the race pace coming on at the business end of the race. Who are in the middle of this final lap. Absolutely brilliant. They're coming out of turn 9, a bit of a power wheelie from Steve Bridge, but he's definitely got enough of a gap to nurse into turn 10. Absolutely brilliant. He got the lead early in this one and hasn't let it go. Matt Drayson had to do the hard work, make a couple of passes, but here he is just on the back wheel of Steve at the moment. So Steve Bridge out of turn 10 and up the hill for the final time. So Steve takes the 3rd and final round. Matt Drayson ends up getting that gap down to just on a second, but not enough. So a second place to go with his race 2 wins of Matt Drayson, but Steve Bridge won the first race, second in the second one, and then a race win, 3rd and final race. Absolutely brilliant from the legendary Steve Bridge from Narrawahia. Nick Burke crosses the line in third place with a good performance from him on the Kawasaki Motorsport Bay Ride R6 Yamaha. That's going to be awesome to see Nick Burke in the 600 Supersport campaign this year. Zurin Wiki, he's out of turn 10 and does an neat and tidy job getting out of there. Up the hill he goes. A great fourth place design. It's a good day at the office for him. He's lapping in the 1:14, so good stuff from him. Then Robbie Oxenham, he gets a 1:14.644, so that's great. Does his final lap as his fastest, and I'm pretty sure he'll be happy with a 1:14 with the track temperature at about 10 degrees. So great stuff from the Ox out there. Miles McDonald, he is coming up the hill now as well, so he will cross the line in 5th place, 6th place there. And then we go to Daniel Hendy as well, so he's a non-finisher in this one. So brilliant stuff from the Kawasaki New Zealand Senior Racing. And coming up next, we've got a 6-lap intermediate race, and